Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. This is Mujahid Hussain. Hope you are doing well at your homes. Dear students, today we are going to learn Unit 5 Part 1 Web Threads. Actually Unit 5 is much larger, so I have divided into two sections, like two parts, Part 1 and Part 2. So today we will discuss about Part 1. This is our content list in which we will discuss about viruses, computer worms, trojans, house, malware, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, then email spam, phishing, and denial of service attack. So let's move towards virus. What is virus? The term computer virus was formally defined by Fred Cohen in 1983. Brain, a malicious code created in Pakistan which infected boot sectors of a disk so that their contents could not be accessed. So this is a virus name known as Brain, and this was created by the Pakistanis, and through this will affect the boot sector of disk, as you cannot access your content which are available on that disk. Different web threats like worms, trojans, malware, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, phishing, and denial of service attacks. For security measures for different web threats, we need to install antiviruses. And computer virus, it is a program or piece of code that is loaded onto the computer without the knowledge and permission and runs against the vicious and harmful for computer. All computer viruses are man-made. A simple virus can make a copy of it over and over again. Is relatively easy to produce. Such a simple virus is dangerous because it is quickly use all available memory and the system to have. And even more dangerous type of virus is one capable of transmitting itself across networks and bypassing security systems. So these are actually programs or piece of codes which are loaded on the computer without knowledge or permission of the user, and it goes against the wishes of the user and harmful for computer or laptop or any PC. So these computer viruses actually are man-made. People are making these viruses in order to hold their PC or in order to damage their PCs, to provide to harm the PCs of the persons. For these things, for bypassing these, we have need to install antiviruses in order to prevent from the computer viruses, and these viruses can bypass security system and can damage the information or the computer as well. Computer worm is a self-replicating computer program that penetrates an operating system with the intent of spreading malicious code. Worms utilize networks to span copies and original copy code to other computers, causing harm by consuming bandwidth or possibly detecting files or sending documents via email. Worms are often confused with computer viruses. The difference lies in how they spread. Computer worms self-replicate and spread across networks, exploiting vulnerabilities automatically. That is, they don't need cyber criminals guidance, nor do they need to latch onto another computer program. As such, computer worms pose a significant threat due to the sheer potential of damage they might cause. Uh, particularly notorious incident occurred in 1988. A computer worm named the Morris worm caused hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of dollars in damage, and was convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. So worms are actually self-replicating program, and they sprayed in the malicious code in the system. So these worms utilize networks to send copies of original code to different other computers, and causing the harm. And these bombs can be sent through emails, and computer worms self-replicate, spread across the network. When we send the email through the network, if we have a network, and the first notorious incident occurred in 1988, and millions of dollars were damaged in that incident. And the man was who created the worm. He was convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Trojan's horse program are a utility that appears to be something useful or safe, but it is a reality in performing background tasks such as giving access to the computer or sending personal information to other computers. Trojan horses are one of the most common methods a criminal uses to infect the computer and collect personal information from the computer. So these are Trojans also are used on the network in order to get the information of the user, personal information of the user. If somebody sending its personal information to other computers, so Trojans will access that data or that information, and that will be collected in someone's computer, which is actually acting or which is actually attacking on the computer. So that will collect your personal information from the computer. Then some basic examples of how the computer could become infected with the Trojan horse. Like a website offers a free download to program or game that normally costs money. Downloading the printed version of program or game allows illegally using or playing it. However, during the install, it also installs the Trojan horse onto the computer. A friend Facebook account hacked and has sent out personalized messages telling all their friends to see this exciting new video. Opening the video, pressing a download that has a hidden Trojan horse that infects the computer. A popular screensaver website has become infected or uploaded infected screensavers. Downloading the screensaver to the computer also installs the Trojans on the computer. Receiving an email that appears to be from a friend asking to view the fantastic new program or look at a file. Opening the file infects the computer with Trojan horses. The four different examples are available. Through these examples, Trojan horse will be installed on your PC, and someone can steal your information as well, like a website and friends, Facebook account, a screensaver, and mail which is received from a person. So these are the things through which Trojan horse is installed in your PC, and a person who want to infect, who want to steal your information, that can steal your information very easy and quickly. Then malware is an abbreviated terms meaning malicious software. This is a software that is specifically designed to gain access or damage of a computer without the knowledge of the owner. There are various types of malwares, including spyware, keyloggers, true viruses, worms, or any type of malicious code that infiltrate a computer. Generally, software is considered malware based on the intent of the computer creator rather than its actual features. So, malware actually is derived from the malicious and ware from software. So, combination of malware from software, malicious software. So, this is actually used for the damaging or gain access of the computer without knowledge of owner. Like I am an owner, I am doing anything on my computer. So malware software is designed in order to gain access or damage my computer without my knowledge. So in which malware includes spyware, keyloggers, true viruses, worms, or any type of malicious code which can harm to my computer. And these are also these software is considered malware based on the intent of the creator rather than its actual features. SQL injection, it is one of the many web attack mechanisms used by hackers to steal data from organizations. It is perhaps one of the most common application layer techniques used today. It is the type of attack that takes advantage of improved coding and of the web application that allows hackers to inject SQL commands into say a login form to allow them to gain access to the data held within the database. In essence, SQL injections arises because the fields available for user input allow SQL statements to pass through and query the database directly. SQL injection is actually a mechanism, web attack mechanism in which you can steal the database of someone's any organization, any institutes. You will ask through someone asks through coding that you want to through a web application. So they will ask SQL commands and just log in and allow the gain access. Then they will get the database and they will steal your information. Then cross-site scripting, a wide range of hacking techniques to compromise website and web applications and make off with a treasure trove of sensitive data including credit card numbers, social security numbers, and medical records. Cross-site scripting, also known as XS or CSS, is generally believed to be one of the most common application layer hacking techniques. Through this one, they will hack your credit card numbers, social security numbers, or medical record or any record. They can steal easily. Email spam, a form of commercial advertising which is economically viable because email is a very cost-effective medium for the sender. If just a fraction of the recipients of a spam message purchase the advertised product, the spammers are making money and the spam problem is perpetuated. Spammers always recipient addresses from publicly accessible sources, use programs to collect addresses on the web, and simply use dictionaries to make automated guesses at common users' name at a given domain. Spammers often conceal or forge the origin of their messages to circumvent laws, service provider regulations, and anti-spammers lists used by anti-spam software. At the present, more than 95% of email messages sent worldwide is believed to be spam, making spam fighting tools increasingly important to all users of email. Hijacking of real users' addresses or mail accounts is also common. So then we have a phishing where messages appearing to be sent from legitimate financial institutes attempt to trick recipients into verifying sensitive data such as credit card number information and fraudulent websites. Legitimate services will rarely, if ever, send message requesting to click a link and provide personalized sensitive information. Be sure to verify the source of the message before compiling with such a request. If receiving messages claiming to originate with the payment services such as PayPal, eBay, financial institutes, or even banks. So they send you a link, and when you will open that link, just they will ask you log in your if they are sending you a Facebook link, then they will ask username and password, such as if they want to steal your move your money from your account, so they will ask the credit card information or any other such type of things can be done through the phishing on the network. Then we have denial of service attack. DOS attacks against websites occur when an attacker attempts to make the web server or servers unable to serve up the websites they host to legitimate visitors. Generally used against large corporations, government sites, and activist sites as a form of protest to disrupt their web presence. Example: denial of service attacks launched against web applications include attempts to flood web applicants, thereby preventing legitimate user traffic, attempts to disrupt service to a specific system or person, blocking user access by repeated invalid login attempts, resulting in the account's suspension, jamming the application database connection by crafting CPU-intensive SQL queries. So they will send a request to the server again. After that one server will hang and your website will be out of order, like you will not access your website, and so they can disrupt services for the specific system or person, and in order to blocking user access by repeating invalid login attempts, so result your account will be suspended. Is there any question? Then ask. I will be available. I have provided my email and my WhatsApp number as well. So do messages, mail me, and keep in touch. Stay home, stay safe, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.